Meanwhile, today's funding secured Databricks announcing a $1.6 billion round that values the data processing software company at $38 billion. Joining us now, CEO and co-founder of Databricks, Ali Ghodsi. Ali, good to have you. So you've got a unique product that combines a data lake with data warehousing. It's a hot space. We just saw Snowflake report not too long ago with still strong growth. One of your investors said you're going to do about $1 billion in, I think, revenue in the coming year. Is that how it looks?
Well, we haven't given any forecast of what our revenue will be next year, but we're having huge tailwinds, and something has happened during the pandemic where I think people's lives were turned upside down, and now everybody thinks, yeah, of course, AI is the thing that's gonna change or transform our company. So people are doubling down on artificial intelligence and data transformation.
Ali, can you give us some insight into why you're choosing to raise money at this valuation instead of going public? You're certainly at the scale of many of the companies that we've seen do IPOs recently.
Well, we're kind of going public 6 months at a time, right? So, in each of these fundraisers, you're kind of reshaping your cap table and you're bringing in the big sort of mutual funds, the big investors that you want to build relationships with over the next decade. So it's kind of what you used to do in an IPO process where you would talk to the bankers and they would bring in these investors and you would try to allocate big blocks to them. We get to do that. In January, we raised $1 billion, allocated it to those, long-term investors that we want to have. And now we did 1.6 billion again. So I think it's actually really sort of enviable position that you can actually do this in private markets. I think it's great.
Ali, a year ago, we saw this tremendous surge in interest in companies with good IP around data, cloud, AI technology. I'm thinking about the valuation for the IPOs that Snowflake got, that C3 AI got, but then we saw a lot of volatility in that afterward. Is that influencing at all the way you think about how you come public when you eventually do?
No, really, we're taking a long-term view on this. We think we're in the very, very early innings of what people can do with data and AI. And, I think over the next decade, people can't really imagine how much it's going to actually influence enterprises as a whole. So IPO for us, it has an I in it, which stands for initial. So it's just the stepping stone towards building a really great, iconic company that's going to sustain for many decades to come.
Ali, you say that raising money in private markets is like going public every 6 months, except that you don't get the roadshow, you don't get to ring the bell at the NYSE or the NASDAQ, you don't get that public awareness that your competitor, Snowflake, did get throughout its course as a public company. Does that put you at a disadvantage? Do you have plans for listing?
We are definitely IPOing. We just haven't shared timelines, and we're not optimizing for a particular date. I have to say, we're getting amazing, press coverage of these fundraisers that we have. So it is kind of like going public 6 months at a time. That's one. The second thing is, there's massive tailwinds. Our business is actually accelerating. So post-pandemic, something has happened, and I think data and AI, cloud computing, open source technologies seem to be more top of mind for leaders of different enterprises. So I think it's just, these are secular trends that are going to remain for a long time to come.
Massive press coverage of the fundraisers. Well played. Ali Ghodsi, thank you for joining us.